Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boy Mo, and today I'm going to be reviewing Upload Season 3, Episodes 1 and 2, and they're entitled Ticking Clock and Strawberry. It's all coming to you from Amazon Prime Video. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into the review, get down there, hit like on this video. Well, Upload has returned. Well, it feels like it's been a long time. I think it's been a little over a year for the third season. This show, which I feel like has flown under the radar over on Amazon Prime Video, undeservedly so, because the first two seasons were great. The last season 2 came out and was dropped all at once, so that's probably why it didn't have much fanfare. But if people have been sleeping on it, and that's unfortunate because just like the first two seasons, the first two episodes of this new season just came out the gates like hot as fire, man. Just like firing on all cylinders and picking up from where the previous season left off very well. So, spoiler alert, I really, really liked the first two episodes. But let's get into what these episodes were all about and why I really like them. So, Ticking Clock picks up like immediately after the first the final episode last season, where we saw Nathan had been uploaded. He had been uploaded, went through all this stuff. They found out there was a conspiracy. They got him out. The Ludds, they downloaded him into his clone body that they hijacked from Ingrid at the clone center, and now he's out. But the trick is that uploads so far for humans have led to head explosions. So there's a concern that maybe he's gonna die. And at the end of the last episode, he had a nosebleed that was maybe indicating that he might, have a blown up head. But that's what Ticking Clock is all about. That, and really, it's really about kind of putting the stops to a really horrendous, conspiracy, masterminded by David Choke, but also with a lot of other billionaire, super rich people doing a terrible thing, which is essentially they have this Freeyond product in swing states in the United States, with the sole intention of, uploading a bunch of poor people into Freon, and then taking them out of the voting, rolls. Very just like a devious plan. But they find on this episode, it isn't just that. Also, that Freon is just like a front, and really, they literally plan to just, get rid of the upload data. So essentially, literally killing people. See, when I was watching the previous season, I was like, well, that's a pretty messed up idea and very devious. But at least they're going to have Freon, and people will actually be in a digital, afterlife. So it's not, it's a bad trade-off, but it's still a trade-off where there's something maybe good about it. But of course, them being rich assholes, they don't even want to pay for the Freon. They don't want to pay for the data and the electricity and all that stuff to keep it running for the poors. So of course they're gonna, make up some excuse saying that the Ludds did something, and then now, they have an excuse to literally kill like 20 million people. And so Nathan, he does his best to basically leak that information to stop them. But similarly, you have Nora, who she has to go and stop people basically at the LA place from uploading, and it happens to save Nathan's his mom from at the last second from being killed, like literally being killed. And so that was cool. But there's a good little bit of intrigue and like a moment where there's a standoff, and one of the characters, the police character, he's not what he seems. He's actually sucks. But that leads to an interesting little kind of Mexican standoff. And also, unfortunately, the death of one of the main characters that's been kind of doing cool stuff in there. And also at the same time, that's what's all going on in the real world. Which keep in mind, this is something to pay attention to. That the real world versus what's going on in Lakeview is, that's still going on. And what's going on in Lakeview is Ingrid has decided she's going to stop pretending. She's like, forget Nathan. He left me tied to a chair, and she's just going to go live her best life in the real world. That is until she realizes that Nathan is still in Lakeview, or rather, a copy of Nathan, because Tinsley thinks that she screwed something up and she couldn't find Nathan, and so she restores a backup copy from the very beginning of season 2, and this gives Ingrid a second chance to do it right this time, I guess you could say, with Nathan. And she immediately jumps on that. It's such a toxic little relationship she's got going on. She's chasing this guy who really has already made his decision, but because she has this copy of him that is, hasn't solidified his love for Nora, she has another chance with another copy of him, which I always wondered if this was going to come up in this show. Like, technically everyone's data, so wouldn't there always be a possibility of having your life outside in the real world and having a digital life? So it's, that comes back to be interesting in the next episode. But you basically also see Alicia get promoted, and she becomes an executive, and she has to basically stop being an angel and go be an AI trainer. And that leaves Luke very, very sad because he's already missing Nathan, who's uploaded, but now he's missing. He's going to be missing Alicia as well. And then, of course, you got David Choke, who is in the real world, orchestrating with a bunch of other people this horrible scheme, and it ends up, of course, Nathan, botches it for them, and then now they just have to put out some PR. So for the second episode, now you have Nathan and Nora. This is episode Strawberry. Nathan and Nora are on the road, that having survived kind of the whole confrontation with the police officer, and having a duffel bag full of people on hard drives. They're going around trying to find the next of kin to give these hard drives to, so that at some point they can resurrect their dead loved ones. That leads them to going to a farm, and it's it's a farm like you would think, like that. They're raising animals and everything, and they're very conservative, and this is very much an intent by the writers to sort of show what I would call Fox News viewers or Newsmax viewers, that they are generally seem to be all right people, and they just want what's best, and they're very decent, but also they get their news from the big billionaire corporations who just want them to think a certain way. So they think the Ludds were responsible for the Freeyond incident, which was had killed a bunch of people and lost their data, and so they Nathan and Nora are sort of out there with these people and being nice and everything to them, but not being able to really confront them about their mistaken ideas about not just the Ludds, but just what's really going on in the world. And also they are sort of trying to figure their own relationship out, and it's because they've been sort of having a relationship within the world of Lakeview, and now that he's a real person again, maybe the small things aren't as good, and they're really kind of questioning their relationship and can they make it work. There's a lot of fun stuff in this part you see the kind of the farm that these people are working, and where they farm pig cancer rather than actual pigs. They have these huge genetically modified cows that you milk their udders for cottage cheese and cream and all that. It's really, really weird and unsettling and gross. Like, the whole farm thing is just free. It's bad CG. Let me also say it's not good CG, but that just really heightens the grossness of everything that's happening there. And meanwhile, Alicia, she's trying to get the AI guy to, the various AIs to learn anything, and they are horrible at it. They don't really understand what's going on, and they miss, the head of IT of design teaching them. You also have kind of Luke, and he's kind of wallowing in his memories and deleting the memories of like Nathan and Alicia and everything like that, and replacing them with cartoons. And there's a fun and really sweet little moment between Alicia and Luke. So you kind of know, she replaces his memories back with the ones he wanted to forget. And also, they have just a little bit of a heart to heart there. So there's definitely something there between the two of them. But Alicia, she's sort of on that corporate path upwards. And we kind of have to wonder how much of her humanity is going to remain as she, becomes an executive and everything like that. And so also David Choke is trying to figure out, he was certain he saw Nathan the night that they ruined the whole Freeyond thing. And now he's questioning himself. Well, with the help of a friendly neighborhood angel who also happens to be a Ludd that we know he was just messing with him, and also trying to throw him off the scent. So right now the conspiracy doesn't know that Nathan is alive, and again, Nathan is sort of on a ticking clock, as they say, because they don't know how long he can stay in his body before his head explodes. The idea was supposed to be he would get out, they do this thing, and then he'd re-upload. But so far it hadn't happened. And I'm just curious, like, how urgent is that really? Because he doesn't seem to be in a particular hurry about it. Even though he is still getting some, issues that maybe indicate it could be close. So I imagine that's going to be the same for the whole season. But just overall, really loved it. Like the highlight of this show really is the relationships between the various people, and seeing Luke and Alicia. They're very cute together. Nora and Nathan, finally they get to be a real couple. They continue to be just a great couple on screen, and seeing all of the other, Choke being horrible, but all these other people who are surrounding that are horrible. And Ingrid, you love to hate her because she's a complete dick to Tinsley and kind of has her over the barrel because of how she restored Nathan's digital consciousness. But she's also really trying to get better, and she's really sweet to Nathan, and their little relationship, oddly enough, is nicely coming along too. So if you're here for those things, you're going to get the most bang for your buck. But also, if you're just here to marvel at this bright, shiny, horrible, terrible dystopia that they've shown is even worse than we thought in the first two seasons. It's not just that they have printed food, but like the people who raise food, literally raising pig cancer in a big old, unruly blob. And also this big, horrible, 100-foot cow that with all these udders. It's gross. This is a weird, terrible, terrible future with terrible billionaires doing terrible things and regular people just trying to figure their way around it. And I love it. This show is just, it's doing all the right things. And it definitely did not miss a step between the seasons. And I just can't wait to see more of it. As I'm assuming we're getting 8 episodes, so 2 down, 6 to go. And really, really looking forward to what they plan to do. So those are all my thoughts for the first 2 episodes of this season of Upload. What did you guys think about them? And what did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comment section and leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do us a favor. Hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps so that more people see this channel and see reviews just like this. All right, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We're going to be talking about episode 3 of Upload Season 3. Until then, I've been Mo, your commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.